Two stages are behind us. You already know the plan for this MOC, and you saw the mine ship, maybe little bigger. Now it's time for finally enter to the harbor. Finally you can unload the goods brought from distant lands. Don't forget to buy good wine. You can even eat good fish, or let it straight. There are so many attractions here. Winter is coming, so it's time to stay here longer. Time for episode 3. This will be the first episode where I build the city. This means that the most of work is still ahead of me. Fortunately, I have a large supply of bricks, so I don't have to make as many orders as I used to. You will see a lot of new things in this episode. I built the first piece of terrain. I also finished one baseplate with water. You also see the medieval crane I built. So sit back and let's get started! Winter in the Wharf is a Lego castle MOC, where I built a medieval port. If you are here for the first time, you must see the previous episodes. In episode 1, I go into detail about the plans and what inspired me. In episode 2, I showed off the finished ship, the Rebrickable, which will be the highlight of this project. Since it's a very big project, I think there will be about 7 or 8 episodes. Also, I don't want to do a lot of episodes, because I prefer to show you more progress. In the previous video, I talked about the instructions for my Rebrickable ship. The PDF instruction is ready, it has over 200 pages. In the instructions I describe in detail how to prepare the rigging and sails. I also made templates for the sails, so if you don't want to make them out of fabric, you can just print them on paper. For more details, please visit Rebrickable.com. The link is in the description of this video. Because this is a very large project and I need a lot of parts, I made another small order on Bricklink. I bought dark bluish grey masonry bricks, 1x1 transdark wool plates, some ingot tiles in tan and medium nougat tiles, white wedge plates, and wedge curved slopes, few tiles, some plates, and something completely new for me. Splat tiles will be useful in the winter MOC. If you watched the previous episode and made it to the end, you could see quite a bit of water there. I've already finished building this fragment, so I'll show it to you. At the start you will be greeting for the first seal. I will add more seals at a later stage of construction. I've built a lot of ice floes, some larger and many small. As you can see by the ship, I added waves that show how it moves through the water. The ship won't be moored. I'd have to furl the sail then, and I don't want that. I'll take off the reference unit for a moment, and you'll see how the wall base looks like. I used a lot of tiles here, but it was worth it. One more shot from below. And the ship returns to its place. In this episode I start building the first part of my city. I've planned a very large project that I will want to show at several exhibitions. I had to plan the construction well. The wall area will be divided into several smaller fragments, so that it's easy to move everything. I'll start building from the left side. The first will be 40 by 30 stats baseplate. In the next episode I will want to show you the first houses that I will put on this baseplate. At the beginning I gave several layers of dark bluish grey, to show that these fragments often come into contact with water. On the left there is a first interesting technique. I built some brick-built slopes. Of course I could have used a regular slope, but here's what my version looks like. There's a lot of details here, and I could have added bits of snow. The construction of this is quite easy. The slopes are attached on hinges. I wanted to show you one more detail. A way to match the slopes. In previous MOCs I did it differently, and now this way. Thanks to this technique there are no gaps. Both slopes are adjacent to each other. Next to it I also use an element from Spring Loader Shooter. Now I want to show you how the wharf will connect it to the water. I've mentioned many times that the project will consist in many modules. At the very bottom of the baseplate with the wharf, I added such tiles. There are several of them, and you'll see what they are needed. Now I will invert the water baseplate. I made a few slots here and blockade the plates on the sides. This place will be filled with tiles you saw a moment ago. The linking looks like this. Simple, but it works. I built one small extra baseplate. You'll see where it's mounted in a moment, but first let's see what's here. I added a large platform with dark brown parts here. There are a lot of details and snow. I installed these beams at the bottom. I think they look very cool. See how I built them. Simple design, but I managed to get the perfect angle. Time for a little highlight of this episode. The baseplate you see will be the platform for medieval crane. Every harbor needs a crane, so I built one. We can easily rotate it, and it has movable arm. The crane works, of course. We have a string and hook here, so see for yourself. Let's see what the crane looks like a little closer. Simple but very cool design. Check the description of this video, there you will find the information about the instruction for this crane. I connect the baseplate with the crane in this way. I've prepared another piece of water. There are some tiles here that mark the place for a small baseplate. I added water in similar way as in the previous section. Now just connect both baseplates with Technic pin and it's done. One more thing left, another detail. There will be such a frame in dark brown here. I was based on the Witcher game. It is a reinforcement of the wharf, but also a place where the ships can moor. I think that the whole thing looks very nice. It's time for more details. I'll start with water and added more flows and larger piece of ice at the wharf. The project is slowly taking shape, and you already see the winter style. I just added another detail, the ladder. If someone falls into the water, they have much a chance to get out. Unless he meets a seal, then it can be much more difficult. The second ladder will also appear, in a different place, probably in the next baseplate. We are slowly coming to the end of this episode, but there are still two things left. The first is a place for buildings. I made two such places and added tiles. There will be houses in this place. Since it is modular MOC, the houses will be easily removable. And one more thing, I added stairs. You will be able to climb up to upper part of the city. I'm planning a lot of interesting passages. I hope you will like the layout of the city. I also started to build roads. There are also a lot of snowdrifts. It's time to sum up this episode. I already have the first baseplate of the wharf ready, but it's one of 3. So there is still a lot of work to do. I built a medieval crane, which I'm happy about. I think maybe I'll add another one, but smaller. Let me know in the comment how do you like this project and progress in construction. There are plans for the next episodes now. In the 4th episode, I will show you the finished buildings of this baseplate. I still have to think about what they will look like. In episode 5 I will be building the next baseplate, then the main tower of the Raven Knights, and then next part of this MOC. This will be a long project. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye!